This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Good to see you. Do me a favor, as you're coming into this video, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I hope you guys are doing well. Help me share. Thank you. Let's talk about Tonto Dikeh. So last time we were here, was the last 2 shows. I think we covered Tonto a little bit, but I wanted to bring us up to speed with what is going on with that. It's been a lot of talk. It's been a lot of talk since then. Many people have actually taken opportunity of that to drag the single mothers. Single mothers have been dragged over the last 2-3 days on all social media platforms because they're saying, can you see your life? You see your life outside? Say, you see, this is your hero. Some people actually claim that so many homes have been broken in that last 10 years when Toto came out and started dragging her ex. So, yeah, that's what people are saying. So, but Do2dtun is a radio guy in Nigeria. He has something to say about this. Do2 has his own history. Do2 is a person who has seen shege from women. So Do2 can't help himself. Sometimes when he sees this kind of story, he has to chime in. But shout out to Do2. I like Do2. I think Do2 is a case study that we can all learn from. Nobody is perfect. I was just talking to Uncle Beno behind the scenes. Nobody is perfect. I'm sharing all this stuff because I just want you to be better prepared. Nobody is going to be fully prepared. Okay? In fact, this is human psychology that I'm talking about in the lessons. So we're going to come back to our center, which is we make mistakes. Okay? We feel how we feel and we operate from our feelings. No one cares about anything outside of their feelings, including men. Yes. So, but what is Do2 talking about? Do2 is saying, this is what he posted on Twitter. He said, in my opinion, right? What we're talking about, Tonto came out after 10 years and said, I've forgiven my ex, we moved them. Some people are actually misconstruing that for they're getting back together. But I think what she's saying is that they're going to co-parent in harmony now. And the son, for the first time after 10 years, actually gets to talk to the father. So, I applauded her for that, but obviously, a lot has happened in 10 years and we'll probably continue to unpack that. So Do2 is starting to unpack. He says, in my opinion, Tonto is not the victim here. Yes, she forgave, but I think if anyone needs to forgive anyone here, it's Churchill. She might have been Olakunle Churchill. She might have been in the marriage, but I wished her forgiveness note was fully detailed. People always looking for full details. Wala. Addressing the labels and tags, cause you see that stigma and reputation she set for that man will never ever be erased. So the original message from Tonto, just in case you don't know what we're talking about, Tonto said, we're living proof that the word of God is eternal and unfailing. God is not a God who abandons. Well, I'm not going to read the whole thing again. She said, after 10 long years of public battles, deep wounds, broken communication, bitterness, and pain, God stepped in. What looked ugly, impossible. But the social media said, no, tell us what happened, including Do2. Tell us what happened. If you don't tell me everything, I can't trust you anymore. How can I trust you if you don't tell me everything? Social media is always going to be obsessed with people's personal life, right? I mean, what are we doing here? We're covering celebrity topics, right? So it is what it is. That's what drives content, right? But depending on what side of this equation you're on, if you end up in that shalaye,
Bless. explain because no evidence.
Shout out to Uncle Beno. If you end up in that salary, you go explain tired. But guess what? You still don't have evidence. There's no amount of evidence that you have because they're going to create their own narrative. It is what it is. So I appreciate actually Tonto's statement. But Do2dtun wants to know why would Do2dtun want? What does he want to know exactly? Right? Do2dtun wants to learn. Right? No, Do2dtun wants karma to happen right now. That's what's happening. Do2dtun say, hey, this is not enough karma. I need it to happen right now because the damages you've created, here's the truth. Do2dtun is half truth, half lies. Okay? It is true that some damages have been created. Like, for example, if there were options 10 years ago to raise a boy so that the father can actually be in the life of the boy, but you chose to go to hell instead of go the high road, then we can say that, right? That you had better options. You chose the wrong option. But hey, we're still alive. Hey, there's always an opportunity. See, that's how great God is, right? There's opportunity for second chance. It doesn't mean that you won't collect it. Okay, there's consequences. So let's be clear. If you make the wrong choice, all of us, if you make wrong choices, we collect. Even worse, let me this karma thing that you guys are obsessed with. Even worse, your children go collect. The scripture talks about all the way to fourth generation, potentially. Okay, I know you have your own interpretation, but the point here is this: this is real world, this is real life. Okay, the choices we're making has consequences. That's the reality. Okay, so Do2dtun, here's what Do2dtun needs to realize. The way he responds, all of us, the way we respond, the way we react to issues of life is actually what we are responsible for. We are responsible for our reactions. Okay, so the reality is that we're never going to find what most people consider to be closure. Closure is very important, but a lot of time it needs to be redefined because some people are chasing after closure until they buy and they will never see it because they're obsessed with karma. They want enemy. They want enemy. Why do you think the churches are full in the jar? Enemy die, enemy die, enemy die. But guess what's happening? You're losing out. You're missing out on life. You're missing out on life. Yoruba people are waiting about shout out to my wife. She's the reason why I know so many Yoruba proverbs. Think about it, that means the older you get, you start to pick your battles. You don't fight every battle. So I feel for Do2dtun. He wants to see karma to the likes of his baby mother, because the baby mother of Do2dtun is Devon's younger sister who took his kids away. It's a terrible thing to do to a man, ladies. But also that sounds dismissive oftentimes because there's a story that led to that point and we're not privy to that story. And of course, Do2dtun will tell us the side of the story, and his side of the story is valid. Guess what other side is valid? The side of the ex-wife is also valid. Guess what other side of the story is valid? Everybody that continue to hear the story and repeat it to other people, every single one of those sides, they're all valid. Because every time I tell you a story and then you go and tell it to another person, you create another version of it. And then you create another version of it. This is why Shalaye never works. You create another version of it. Before you know it, it's spread. So at some point, you realize that this is off your hands. If it's a popular enough story, it is popular. It is what it is. Right? So at some point, it brings us back to if you don't have evidence.
Are you playing? What type of playing is this? This is playing.
We go explain because no evidence.
Listen, you have your story, but remember the other person have their own idea of what they think the story is supposed to be. Right? They've created their own narrative in their head based on their own experience. Literally, they will project. Okay? They will project. Worst part is that they will project their misery onto your own story. So guess what? Everybody just need to rest at some point. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are about that. Let me know. But Do2dtun has a point. I'm not taking away from his point. I'm just saying you might just need to rest sometimes. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world.
This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
And I was stood at the edge.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Devon Franklin. Devon Franklin, where is he? This is Devon Franklin right here. Let me make sure. I need a new earpiece. So I need new earphones, guys. What's going on with Devon Franklin? Devon Franklin was married to Maegan Good. Maegan Good is a fine woman, one of the finest Hollywood actresses out there. Devon Franklin was, I think he's still a producer. Hollywood producer, and they were married. Yeah, they were married for, wow, I'm surprised they were married for about 8 or 9 years, they said. Devon Franklin now admits divorce from Maegan Good crossed his mind, but there was other things he was talking about. He was talking about some things that has to do with thirst trapping. Do you guys know what thirst trapping is? Like when a woman dresses in provocative way that attract other men to come into their DMs. Maybe not their DMs, but in their comments at least. You know, so he said something about it's a red flag. Now he's talking, but let's hear what he has to say in this video. Let's listen in.
Looking down into the raging water below. And I was presented with a Shakespearean dilemma. To jump or not to jump? That is the question. As I stood there pondering the question, the irony of this dilemma wasn't lost on me. Because I had just asked myself a very similar question as it related to my marriage. You see, a few months prior to Costa Rica, I was faced with the question, to jump or not to jump out of my marriage. Now, when I say jump, let's just be clear about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the D word, divorce. I was struggling with the question to divorce or not to divorce. Even thinking of the question was terrifying. Even having the thought put me in a state of disbelief and absolute fear. I never thought that I would contemplate it. Better yet, I never thought that I would even do it, but now I'm at the edge of considering it. And I knew if I were to do it, it would cost me everything. It would mean acknowledging myself in many ways as a failure. It would mean the sacrifice and death of the persona of Devon Franklin. The persona that millions of people around the world had come to know and love. These dating streets are ugly. I got on one dating app, I said, Lord, bless my swipe, bless my swipe. I got on another one, I said, Jesus, take the app, please help me. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are more than 133.5 million people in the U.S. who identify as single.
Jesus.
And now they could add one more to the tally. Now, I wasn't looking for marriage. I was just looking to explore and just have a good time and enjoy myself. And someone said, Devon, be careful, because these dating streets are ugly.
Streets.
I said, ugly? They said, ugly. They said, I don't know what you're going to do, brother. I said, me neither. But I got Jesus, a therapist, and unlimited data. So we're going to figure it out. Now, listen, y'all, I had not dated in 10 years, okay? So admittedly, I was a little rusty. So the first dating situation out of the gate, this is a true story, I got ghost fished. I was ghosted and catfished at the same time. I was talking to a woman on Snapchat for 4 or 5 months that I never saw. And then I realized, wait a minute, I haven't seen you. She didn't want to be seen, so okay, I had to move on. All right, let me move on. Let me keep going.
Ghosted and catfished at the same time. Oh my God. Well, I'm always having these conversations, so I know what's going on out there because you guys be telling me what's going on in dating streets out there. So I can tell you it's rough, you know. But hey, you know. Shout out to Uncle Beru. Let me say Uncle Beru. Maybe Do2X was a Tonto follower. Maybe, right? Maybe. Shout out to who gutted 2 time. Interesting. Shout out to you. All right. So yeah. So what is he saying exactly? What is he saying? I'm looking at. Let me read this out. It says Devon Franklin and Megan Good were once considered the gold standard for high-value Christian relationship. They even wrote a book about waiting. You know how people say, if you just wait on the Lord, if you're a virgin, not virgin, but if you become a born-again virgin, you can finally have a good marriage. And last, unfortunately, the name of the book was The Wait. And the book was highly successful. However, January 2026, as of now, they have fully moved on. I think they're both in new marriages now. So, hey, God is good. God is good, okay? But Egogo, be careful. Be careful. Let's press you, they go. So he talked about the D word as you just heard. He admitted that it was terrifying, absolute fear, of course. But listen, there's no phase of life you enter that there's no fear. There's no phase of life. But he talked about thirst trapping as a red flag. I saw that somewhere in one of the reports that he's saying that if somebody is thirst trapping and they won't stop while you're dating, that is a red flag. Okay, so the question is, do you agree that is a red flag? Okay, that's the question. He says separately, while discussing his dating life after the split, he said he views it as a red flag when someone is dating refuses to remove thirst trap posts, even though those same thirst trap photos is what intrigued him. So it attracted you. You like how she dressed. I mean, this woman is beautiful. She's still beautiful as hell. I think she's now married to, what's his name? The guy that was in court, Jonathan Majors. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Anyway, I'm married to that guy now, right? So they're both remarried. So God is good. But the reason why I wanted to put this out there, that a lot of people are obsessed with right and wrong when it comes to relationship. What is right? What is wrong? What is right? What is the right way to do things? What is right? Is that right? Is that now wrong? Anytime either they talk about Tonto, they want to know who is right. That's what Do2dtun was looking for. Tell us. Let's put the devil to shame. Finally, tell us who did what's wrong. Tell us who did what's wrong. And that is the downfall of many relationships and marriages. They demoralize romance. So they can't see how things can actually go wrong. Things go wrong without the persons being wrong. Listen to me. I'm going to leave you this lesson. This is what you need to go and ponder on. Okay? Majority, my estimation, I'm grossly overgeneralizing, but work with me. 99.99923.5%, they cannot see how things can go wrong with a romantic relationship unless you point out to them that one person is wrong, which is why they end up in so many toxic arguments, and they didn't realize how they started to drift apart. And before they start to try to fix things, it's too late oftentimes for at least one person. And then it becomes like, why don't you just work it out? This is a pastor. Pastor Devon is actually a pastor. I appreciate this young man. He's a very smart young man too. Anyone can make these mistakes. Anybody. Hey, Google, be careful. Now express, you they go. He was actually a relationship coach already before he made these mistakes. So again, there you go, putting people on pedestals, putting yourself on a pedestal because you know the difference between your left hand and your right hand. That is right, that is wrong. But do you know? So are you telling me? So who is to blame? Who is the fault? And then you miss the most important lessons. That's all I can. If you really want to get more of that, become a member of the channel. Okay, that's all I'm going to leave you with on this particular episode. But I would like to know your thoughts, though. I would like to know your thoughts. All right, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications, so you're notified when we go live. We have some other trendy stories around the world. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right. Welcome back. Let's talk about Reno Omokri. Every now and then Reno Omokri makes it to our pulpit. Reno Omokri posted something. You need money, not looks, to marry. But what is he talking about? Let's see what Reno Omokri. Who is he? Reno Omokri is, I think, he's some kind of special assistant. Recently, he just got nominated as an ambassador on one of the ambassador lists for Tinubu, something like that. But he's a politician. He's a very smart, intelligent guy too. Intelligence does not mean emotional intelligence. That's just a type of intelligence, okay? I'm not saying he's not emotional intelligent, but I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Best case scenario is that he's intentionally, his ideas are usually extreme, polarized views, but he comes from a very conservative standpoint. So I can also understand and respect that. But as he makes statements like this, I'll talk about it. Like this is what he said. He said, as a single man wanting to marry, you need money, not just handsomeness. To gain priority with women, you need money. It is like a WhatsApp call and a terrestrial call. No matter how interesting the conversation you are having with someone on WhatsApp, as soon as a terrestrial call comes in, it must automatically cut off the WhatsApp call. The terrestrial calls have priority. And no matter how handsome you are, as long as you are broke, if a man with money approaches while you are courting a girl, it will likely immediately cut off your connection with her. Men with money usually have priority over women with beauty. So go and make money before seeking honey. Reno's Nuggets. Wow. Reno's Nuggets. Okay. But let's analyze this real quick. Let's take our time to analyze this. Let's be careful with it. It's not wrong. I don't do right and wrong anyway. It's not wrong, but there's a poison here. It's always the poison, okay? All you need is small poison. You put small poison inside of food, you contaminate the food, it's over. It's over, just like that. If I find out, we're not touching that food, though. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I don't need the food. The food could be smelling nice and everything. If you tell me, say there's small poison on the small corner, we're just going to throw it in the garbage, right? I'm not saying we're throwing his ideas in the garbage. Not yet. Hold on one second. There are two things he's comparing here. Okay, gentlemen, listen to me carefully. Okay, there's two things that he's comparing here. He's comparing, let me be careful. He's comparing money with handsomeness. Okay, in my opinion, from my point of view, both of them actually fall in the same category. Okay, I'm just talking about the poisons. Like, remember, it's not wrong. Okay, so if you are the kind of guy that even before you show your money, just a good-looking guy, right? But that's what you got, right? And women are in your DMs all the time. You look good. You take nice pictures. You put them on Instagram. Your page is on flick, right? If all you have is handsomeness, the same thing is true here, okay? Now, if all you have is money, right? I know. Hold on one second. If all you have is money,
I never spelled it.
the same thing is true. Oh. He said, this power said, no, stop the car. Any woman will follow a man with money. Yes, you're right. Just like any woman will also get attracted to a handsome man. The question is that sustainable? To be fair to him, he did not talk about sustainability. All he talked about was, what's the third thing? All he talked about was beauty. Another thing that's flimsy, that's flaky. Another thing that just will not last the test of time. Beauty actually does last the test of time, but it depends on what type of beauty you're talking about. You see that type of beauty that you have, that you saw in the beginning, but as you guys continue to get old together and you're wrinkling and you're wrinkling and you're wrinkling, you still see that fresh beauty in that person. Just you, and that's all that matters. You just see that. You still see that at the age of 77, you still see that 23-year-old girl, that innocent girl. You still see her in there, right? Everybody else can't see her. What everybody else can see is an old woman, but you still can see her hair. That kind of beauty is like fine wine. It ages like fine wine, right? But what he's talking about is how to attract a woman. That's what he's talking about. He said, going after women. Two things can actually attract beauty. That's the reality. That's the fallacy in what he's saying. Reno Omokri, shout out to you. Good. Thank you, okay? Because this was a good lesson. Two things, okay? Actually, three. Handsomeness, money, beauty. In 2026, you know the last two. Yes, it can attract wonders, okay? The question is that, can you sustain it? Do you have the capacity to continue to change them? You want to be changing them? Because you have beauty, you want to be changing them. Anyway, those are my thoughts around that. I would like to know what you think about that. Personally, I want to know what you think about that. So do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you are notified when we go live. Let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
Welcome back. So, court grants order. Djimon Hounsou drama deepens. We covered Djimon, the gentleman from I don't take Reno seriously. Good lessons. Good lessons. Anyway, court grants order. It depends. There's problem. There's fire on the mountain. According to the Jasmine brand, the blog, they said Djimon Hounsou's ex granted protective order. That's not like, I think that's the same thing as restraining order, right? Protective order against actor after she was arrested for allegedly punching him in the face. My advice the last time was, if anybody, I don't care what gender, I don't care which one of the 50 genders in the United States, if they punch you in the nose, call the police. Okay? Baba, you have not been friends for a while. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Call the police on him. Don't let anybody shame you because of calling police. It's actually a useless talk. Women are calling police is nonsense. If they're calling police on you, that's not when the problem started. You need the rest of the story. We need it for us to be able to, well, everybody will help you. There's more than enough people that will help you judge with just that. She's a evil woman for calling police, I know. But I'm telling you the reality. You going back to yourself after 2 or 3 weeks and facing yourself. The issue is not gone. The issue, the one that was happening before they called police on you, is still there. And that's what you need to be trying to fix. So anyway, he called the police and they arrested her. But now they're saying the ex-girlfriend and mother of his children, her name is Reza Marie Simpson, has been granted a temporary protective order against the actor following a series of heated incidents and a recent arrest for alleged assault, according to court documents obtained by TMZ. Remember last week when reports surfaced that Simpson was arrested for allegedly punching the Blood Diamond star in the face. Oh yes, Djimon is a Hollywood actor. Forgot to say that. Sorry about that. Punched him in the face. He tried to kick her out of his Atlanta home. Well, Simpson says that's not the full story. Of course, she has her own side of the story. She has her own side of the story. He has her own side of the story. I mean, he has his own side of the story. I have my own side of the story. I wasn't there. But never mind. You see how I'm telling you now, it's about 5 of you watching me live. The rest of the 50 people that will watch this later, they will have their own, each individual will have their own side of the story. Again, these are the reasons why people end up doing the meaningless battle that people engage themselves in, which is explain.
Explain, because no evidence.
Shout out to Biba. Good to see you, Biba. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for being here, Biba. Alright, so now she has her own side of the story. Right? She has her own side of the story that she wants to tell us. But let's see what she's saying. Let's see if she has more to tell us here. She told the judge that that her arrest was wrongful and described what she called abusive behavior by Hounsou. Let me shock you. Did you know that abuse is usually two ways? Did you know? Oh no. Oh, the way we think about it is that somebody is a victim and the other person is a villain, right? You're wrong. You're wrong. It is a two-way thing usually, but the abuse might be expressed in different ways. One person might be emotionally abusing the other person might be, the other side. Or the usual case is both of them are both emotionally abusive. You might have the layer of verbal abuse. Nobody wants to talk about verbal and emotional abuse. They only want to talk about DV when it is physical. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're in a very unhealthy relationship. You need to seek help. Okay? You don't have to use those words. Abuse is on your stuff. No. Don't use that word. Okay? In Nigeria, what we say abuse, we make abuse in Nigeria. Like you're using your mouth. Okay, that's only verbal abuse is what we know as abuse in Nigeria. Nah, bro. Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's emotional. In fact, there was a question topic on a platform I was on earlier today where they were asking which side of the gender has greater capacity for emotional wickedness. That is a topic. I don't know if we can have that here one day. They said, no, let's not do gender war. What do you mean? Gender war is a default. It's going to happen, especially if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't get the skills you need, it's going to happen. It's the reality, because you're going to hurt somebody who is more likely than not a member of the opposite gender, and they're going to feel like it is because you are a member of that gender. It doesn't matter what side of the gender, it's the same stupid talking points. Why? Because people don't know what they are doing. They don't take the time to acquire the necessary skills to do life with another human being. They think just because I'm a good guy, I'm a kind guy, that should be enough. Yeah. We're done. Continue. I was going to play continue. Where's my continue? All right. So she has her own side of the story. Of course. She said, including financial mistreatment. Financial abuse is an abuse. You know, when you say, I don't like how you are talking to me, so I'm going to take your credit card or cut your credit card down from $5,000 to $2,000. Did you know that could be financial abuse? What do you mean? Is it not my money? It is our money. No, our money is our money. It is not my money. Oh, no, but I did the work. See? That's how it starts. You go explain.
Explain, because no evidence.
So, of course, she's accusing him of financial abuse. I don't get to tell her she's wrong. If that's how she deems it, then it is what it is. That's something that he has to answer to. I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying that's how she feels. And how she feels is the controlling factor here. So, financial mistreatment and an attempted illegal eviction in an account of the event leading up to... Hold on one second. In our account of the events leading up to the December dispute, Simpson said that Hounsou slammed a vehicle door against her left side and screamed at her and called her names. In audio she released, Simpson can reportedly be heard repeatedly asking Hounsou for her keys to the property back. Yeah, if you have been taking care of her before, that can be deemed financial abuse. Don't argue with me. Go and argue with your judge, because I want you to get the skills you need so that you don't end up in those courts. But you said no, that you are right. You say you are right, and if nobody will accept you are right, then to hell with being wrong. That's what you told me. Okay, so keep that same energy. Go and argue that you are right with the judge. He allegedly calls her a bitter effing divorced person before yelling at Simpson to get out. She also claimed he came at her, standing nose to nose during a separate October incident in front of their children. The protective order requires Hounsou to have no contact with Simpson or their children. See, it's all fair in love and war. Now she's weaponizing the children. Ola, how can you say that is fair? You're not understanding. You got to think a little bit deeper. Okay? You got to think a little bit deeper. Okay? There's 8 billion of us here. It's not just the two of you. It is fair in love and war. You need to learn the game so you can play it properly. You need to learn how to bring the people that are connected to your life on your team. If you don't learn the skills, they will become, the devil will use them against you. It doesn't matter what side of the gender you fall in. That's the way it works across the board. Don't argue with your destiny, because you can't argue with me. Okay? The protective order requires, okay, now at least 200 yards away from them until a hearing in February. If somebody puts 200 meter between me and my children, I'm not acting innocent or perfect here. I will bite them. I understand you. I'm just trying to offer you that you're probably going to hurt yourself in the short term. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notification. Let me know what your thoughts are about this one. Let's move on to talking. We're going to talk about Davido. Yes, we're going to talk about Davido. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Davido. Davido checks with wife before gushing. So we love Davido. We're not going to drag Davido today. Well, we never drag Davido here on this platform. We just share lessons, difficult lessons that, morally upright people might find difficult to understand. It's okay. All right. But let's talk about Davido. Davido put something out. So over the last few weeks or so, this guy, Speed, he had been trending. Speed is a streamer out of the United States, I think. But he had been trending. So he was even trending with Pella. You know Pella, the top streamer out of Nigeria as well. I warned Pella here on this platform before he got dumped. But Pella is 20 years old, so it's probably too young to really be able to comprehend what I was saying. Not the real Pella. All of you Pellas out there is what I'm talking about. Probably too young. Sometimes you have to collect woto before you learn your lesson. You won't hear us. You say, hey, don't do that. Leave that girl alone. Like, it's too early. It's like, I'm in love. Don't tell me nothing. The girl came back and said, leave us alone. Let us fight our fight the way we want to fight our fight. Davido is also young. Davido is 33 years old. Davido, I don't know if Davido has finally learned what he needs to learn. I don't know. I don't know what to say when it comes to Davido learning. But it's, one of the things that will push greatness out of you if you're lucky enough. Okay? I don't like to use that word lucky. If you're lucky enough to find the necessary skills, let me say it that way. If you're lucky enough to find the necessary skills, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be in marriage because it will force greatness and growth out of you. And to be frank with you, I personally do honestly think that Davido is trying to do right. I don't know, right? I don't know. So what is the link between Speed and Davido? So Davido took to his page. He put out a story, and he tagged his wife, the chef Chioma. Tagged his wife. He said, "Oh boy!" So there's a picture. I could just show you. Okay, there's this picture right here, right? And you could see Speed being catered to by a bunch of women, right? But a bunch of women, they were massaging dark skin chocolates, everywhere. It's just all chocolates in there, right? So you can see that. So Davido took to his, his Instagram story somewhere, and he said, "Oh boy, my darling wife, please permit me. This Nagana." What is he talking about? Please permit me. What does he want from his wife again exactly? Is he asking for permission for a hall pass? Exactly what are we talking about here? Right? Would you give your husband a permission to go and receive massage in a massage parlor somewhere in Ghana from some fine brown sugar chocolate skinned Ghanaian women? Would you allow your husband to do that? Let me see. Osa say, I think Davido has learned either because he hasn't lost anything from his bad behavior. I mean, he has his household all over the place. God help him with that. I can't imagine having multiple households everywhere. But hey, it is what it is. He can handle it as a man. He has money. What did Reno Omokri say? Say, get money. Get money. Right? So let me see. I'm just curious to see what the comments are saying, to be honest with you. I wanted to see what the comments are saying. Let's see here. Somebody said, as you rush, check comment section. Now so God go rush, bless you. I've been seeing that everywhere now these days. Is it because I tend to rush into the comment to see what people are saying? Yeah, that's me. I'm guilty. Somebody said, the ones you they do before, you they seek for permission. I can see an invisible question mark. Somebody said, if Churchy typed this, would it be funny? The intentional disrespect in some marriages these days is alarming. Somebody think this is disrespect. So that's a question for you. Is that disrespectful? Even if it's a joke. To ask you like, babe, would you let me, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Do you find that disrespectful? Some of you are too sensitive. That's the issue. You don't know when to have some fun. Everything is just serious for you. Anyway, somebody said, will they want you scope take beg for Toto? I read that back to myself. I'm reading it for the first time, so that's why I find it funny. Why ask for permission for something you do on a daily? People don't believe that Davido is turning a new leaf. Why? Do you guys know that change is the only thing that's constant in life? Change is the only thing that is constant in life. Once a cheater, always a cheater. You are lying to yourself. You are attracting what you're fearing the most, by the way, when you say that to yourselves. Do they have the tendency to continue the same behavior? Yes. But they also have the tendency to change direction if there is pain or pleasure, or what's the third thing here? Pain, pleasure, or relief. Yes. Those are the only three reasons why human beings will change their behavior: pain, pleasure, or relief. If somebody is participating in bad behavior and there's no, they don't hit their pain threshold, there's no real pain attached to that, especially if there's pleasure attached to it, they will continue. It doesn't matter the preaching. I know you want to make it about, you're not supposed to just do the right thing. Human beings it's no respecter of your morals. The only three reasons why people change their behavior is pain, pleasure, or relief. So if you're incentivizing bad behavior, they will continue. That's the way it actually works. Human psychology. No, you don't get to agree to it. It is what it is. Okay? All it takes is Birkin bags after committing the crime. She's a woman of patience and courage. Women supporting women in the poro. A straight in the poto. Do me a favor, let me know what your thoughts are about this. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's go ahead and talk about Nancy Isime. Nancy says she's ready at 34. Let's see what she's talking about. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I might have to restart. Everything seems frozen. Okay. Okay. All right, we're back. I don't know what happened. My screen just froze randomly. Okay, let's talk about Nancy. All right. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat, please. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Nancy says, I'm ready. Let's see what they're talking about. I just come here, I catch cruise with you guys. I just see interesting topics. So it's not all of them I get to review, just FYI. All right, Nancy Isime. Shout out to Nancy. Nancy is beautiful. Oh my God, Nancy is a beautiful young lady. And 1 second. Nancy is an actress, Nollywood actress out of Nigeria. I think she's also a talk show host. I'm not on ground in Nigeria, so I don't know if she's on a show or anything like that. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Where is this thing now? Sorry, guys. Okay, found it. So according to Instablog Nigeria, popular Nollywood actress Nancy Isime has revealed that she is ripe for marriage, emphasizing, I think she was on Morayo's show, Morayo's new show, emphasizing that the character of a man is more important to her than material things. Guess what? Men also think that character is important to them. Newsflash, hello? Can anybody hear me? Newsflash, men also think that character is very important to them. Okay? So where is the gap? What is going on? What is going on with these people? You heard Devon Franklin earlier said in the United States, about 130-something million people are registered on records as being single. When they say single, that means they are of age and all that, you know. That's usually what it means. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. So in a candid conversation with media personality Morayo Afolabi Brown, Isime stated that kindness, character, those are all beautiful things, by the way. Don't ever if you misquote me, go to check you. Okay. Don't let me say the rest. Okay. Kindness and character, they are all important, but they are bare minimum. They are bare minimum. Those are defaults. That's where you start a conversation. Those are not skills you need to survive in a relationship. Okay? They're not skills. Those are I met a kind person, I met character, but all those things are gonna get tested in relationship, and then you end up in these streets calling people unkind because you didn't learn the skills. You point fingers at the things that you know, which is kindness, character. He did this to me. He did that to me. How could you say you love me and you didn't do this to me? Why? Because you did not go to school. You just went straight into marriage. Did you go to school? No, I'm not talking about your 2 weeks counseling in church. Did you go to school before you enter marriage? No, you didn't. So don't look at me funny. Okay? Did you? I'm not talking about the counseling in church. Did you go to school before you enter? No, you didn't. Guess what? You're not alone. Me too, I didn't. So I learned the hard way. In fact, let me come to, there's a comment I was going to read before the screen hung up on me earlier on. Shout out to, thank you for the ones. I appreciate you guys. Deborah, shout out to Deborah. Deborah said, before we move on to Isime, let me read this. As I said, Davido doesn't have to ask Chioma. He did that to trend. Davido, oh, he did that to trend. Okay, maybe. But it's a good thing to touch anyway. The change that's constant for Davido is Pekus. Is that how you spell Pekus? I didn't know the way I spell Pekus is K-P-E-K-U-S. Is it Pekus? Okay, that's an interesting spelling. Pekus. I believe you mean he never learned him lesson, Abi. Yes. Pain, pleasure, lessons. Particularly hard lessons. You see, we know they listen. I'm talking about all of us across the board. We don't listen. We learn more from. we learn more the hard way. We learn better the hard way.
Sorry.
Yes, precisely. That's how we learn. Sometimes, if we don't lose something, we don't know how to assess proper value to it. It is what it is. You can say, but isn't it better to just listen? I know, me too, I would like that, but I don't know. Human beings are just coconut heads. We would rather collect first before we learn. Now relate, So human beings don't change their behavior unless there's pain. Even physics talks about an object in a state. I'm butchering it. It's a long time ago that I did physics. Object in a state unless it changes. An object is falling, status, gravity, all that kind of. The point is that nothing is going to change. Yes, Nancy has a podcast too. Thank you for that, Osas. Yes. All right. So now back to what we're talking about. So she said, I was trying to see if I could see the video, but it's okay. In a candid conversation with Morayo Afolabi Brown. Wait, okay. Isime stated that kindness, right? She talked about kindness. She talked about it's non-negotiable, right? So I can respect that. That's something I was saying, right? Just bare minimum. Anybody who is not kind, you shouldn't be talking to them in the first place. But just know that that thing that you think is kindness is going to be tested when you enter. Okay. There are going to be things that you've never seen that will happen that you will now question if they were ever kind. You might even end up with one of your favorite words on the internet. They were pretending. They were pretending to be kind. He pretended. You pretended too because you've never shown this part of your anger before. What do you mean? Did you pretend to? Oh, no, it's only one-sided. Yeah, no. Anyway, so she said non-negotiable traits for her. And when it comes to choosing a life partner, when asked if there was a man in the pipeline, Isime said she is ready for marriage, emphasizing that she is now 34 years old. And a quote, there's a quote on, I don't have the video, so I'm just reading from Instablog Niger. She said, there should be, even if he's not manifested, or even if he's manifested, there should be, I'm of age. She said, reacting to Morayo's comment on how in control of her countenance she is and how attractive that is for men. But I have to choose what I settle with. First of all, I like kindness. I find kindness one of the most attractive traits. Let me ask this question to you ladies and gentlemen out there. At what point do women find kindness attractive? Let's compare two ages. Do you think women find kindness attractive at 24 or more at 34? I know you won't tell me the truth. You find it always attractive. Okay, all right. I agree with you. But at what age do you find kindness more of an attractive trait? What age is more likely the age where you will find it more attractive? 24 or 34? I'll give you a hint so I can move on. Bad boy, what you gonna do? I'll give you that hint. I'll leave you with that. And then you tell me what you think. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you are notified when we go live. With that being said, right now, we're gonna go into lessons. We're gonna get into some lessons. Excuse me. I'm a little bit tired. We're going to get some lessons. Are you really ready for marriage? There are 5 truths people learn way too late. I want to share that with you right now. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
This is Ola Akman of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, welcome back. So, are you really ready for marriage? Are you really ready for marriage? I guess this would be for my single people out there. What did Charlene said? At both ages, kindness is kindness. Emotional. You didn't answer the question, Charlene. Shout out to you, Charlene. You didn't answer the question. I said which one of those ages find them more attractive? We're comparing the two. Okay. Oh, okay. You're closer. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Are you really ready for marriage? 5 truths people learn too late. A couple of things, 5 lessons I want to share with you real quick. I'll fly through them so we can move on and have a good evening with your family, with your friends, and all that. All right. The first thing I want to share with you is that marriage requires emotional readiness before romantic desire. But honestly, I want to be honest with you. Based on what we were talking about just now, this is like an oxymoron. Okay? This is almost impossible, particularly without going to school first. Okay? When I say going to school, pick up a damn book. Okay? Stop saying there's no manual to marriage. Stop saying that to yourself. I know what you mean. You're just saying it's different for everybody. Yeah, whatever. But stop. When you say that, you're also sowing certain seeds that you're going to end up in a very nasty situation. And then you're going to console yourself. You're going to jump from one person to another, keep telling yourself the same talking point that has not served you. You want to be careful with that. Marriage requires emotional readiness before romantic desire. You're never going to be completely ready. Well, you get a step closer, but at least don't tell yourself that marriage doesn't have a manual. Okay? By the way, newsflash, it's not only marriage that people say that to. Anything that people are too lazy to sit down for a quick minute and learn some lessons, as in like theoretical stuff that you can apply later, because you still have to apply it and you have to stumble, you have to make mistakes, right? But it's better when we're talking about being prepared. That's all we're saying. Being ready, okay? So emotional readiness before romantic desire is an oxymoron, because we all tend to fall in love. We fall in love with what we fall in love with, right? But I'm just saying, at least after you fall in love, can you slow down and actually take the time to learn something, right? Your idea of love, not love, your idea of love, you have your doubts. Your idea of love is probably not going to be enough. Your idea of love, the younger you are, is probably not going to be enough. So you want to be careful. Okay? How do you be careful? Because I don't want you to be looking over your shoulder. Just the same thing you do when you're heading for a career. Anything you want to do that you plan to be successful at in life, you slow down and you get mentorship. You pick up a book. You ask questions. You're not too quick to give us common sense based opinions. You jump onto Google, jump into Gemini, ask questions. Don't be afraid of those things. People are saying, oh no, but Gemini is only going to give you westernized stuff. No, it's not. It's going to give you stuff based on the quality of the questions you're asking. This is just another way for you to exonerate yourself and excuse your laziness. If you're giving any kind of excuse against education before marriage. So precisely what I'm saying here is education before marriage. Let's move on to number 2. Attraction without resources creates strain. The reality is that, yes, Reno was talking about money before. The reality is that in the long run, if money is tight, it's going to threaten. Yeah, that's English. It's going to be a threat towards security, right? People are not going to feel safe. It's going to create tension and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I said it's not necessarily wrong. It's just that, again, you don't want to put too much attention on beauty, handsomeness, and money, because at the end of the day, you need something a little bit deeper than that. But marriage will magnify financial reality. Okay, but just keep in mind that money does not create love, but lack of it can threaten your sense of security. Okay, so let's not be delusional. All right, let's not be delusional. Let's move on. Number 3. Unresolved conflict turns intimate disputes into legal wars. If you don't know how to resolve conflict, you will end up in the court of law. In that zone is a wicked zone. Don't come back and tell me your partner is wicked. It's not. It's just what it's going to be, okay? By the way, you're probably wicked too. I don't expect you to admit to it, but you're probably going to be wicked because, like I said, that young lady is now weaponizing the kids against him, Djimon. So, but hey, if we tell you to learn these things before you go inside and you don't, it's just what it is. The government is going to help you, but they're not emotionally attached to your situation. So they're not going to help you bring emotional intelligence into stuff. They don't care. It's a system. They're going to bracket all of you together and make you pay money to help you resolve conflicts in a wicked zone, in a wicked way. It's not their fault. It's just the limitations. Just the point is, don't end up in that zone. And if you're already in that place, seek help. Find a coach, okay? Find a coach that can help you navigate that space. Your lawyer will probably not be able to help you with emotional stuff. Your lawyer can give you legal advice. That's about it. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Boundaries are proof of respect, not control. Many of you, whenever you talk about boundaries, what you're talking about is control. You're just being controlling. All right, boundary is supposed to make love and respect feel safe, not the other way around. I think we talked about that on one of our episodes earlier on, but just keep that at the back of your mind. Another point I want to mention here is that public admiration, remember emotional intelligence, public admiration must respect private agreement. Again, what we're doing there is that we're speaking to the urge to shalaye, resist the urge to shalaye.
You go explain, because no evidence.
Resist the urge to explain. Deborah says, many people need to go sit down with a therapist. That's precisely what I'm saying. All right, so boundaries are only proof of respect. If you're a lot of people are talking about boundaries, they never really sat down with a therapist. They never sat down with a mentor to say, hey, they just heard it somewhere, they could relate to somebody's pain, and they kept repeating the same talking points. So they don't know when they are talking off point, because they're only transferring business off of their pain points. So that's the thing. It's a lot of moving variables here. So, but all you can control is yourself. Work on yourself. Number 5, reputation outlives forgiveness. A lot of people try to use forgiveness to manipulate people. Why don't you just forgive? Forgiveness is for you. No. The reality is that Tonto Dikeh gave forgiveness when she could. That's not to excuse people that want to take the next 50 years before they come up with forgiveness. What I'm saying is that you cannot use it to manipulate people. Let's be guided. When we're trying to use the lesson of Tonto to drag single mothers, let's be guided. Usually, when you have to do that, you're just being manipulative. That's not going to work, because on the surface level, you would trigger people. I guess you would trigger single mothers. They will hate you, but you're not really helping. You can't claim you're helping, because if all you're doing is triggering them in the name of helping them, how are you helping them? So, but forgiveness with that being said, is very useful, but people have to be ready. People's timeline is different from people to people. With all that being said, I'm just trying to acknowledge all that. Just know that consequences are inevitable. If you use what I just said as an excuse to perpetuate toxic environment and raise your kids in toxic environment, Auntie, you go collect. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, today. Yeah, forgiveness with take action. Yeah, Uncle Benno, what did you say? I didn't get what you're saying. What's my doing here? 001 for a reason. I didn't get what you're saying. But that will be the show for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for hanging out with me live. Okay, if you hang out with me live, you get to exchange pleasantries with me. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. But just keep in mind that we're dropping videos, and help us share. More importantly, share with somebody that you know it can help. Okay, we're catching crews, but we're also, the objective is the lessons. Okay, the main objective is the lessons, and if it's just one person, that's all that matters. Okay, that's all that matters. Every time, it's a thing of joy. Okay, it's a thing of joy that I'm able to impact one person at a time. That's why I keep coming back, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm having fun. but I also want us to have fun. Either we're talking about marriage, relationship, I want you to have fun, okay? But I also want you to know there's a lot of things I have to say. When it comes to marriage, you have to be proactive, you have to be active, and you have to have reactive skills, okay? Your reactions are actions you're responsible for. You don't, in emotional matters, you don't get to say they made me do it. It's a terrible excuse, not because I want to make you feel bad, not because I want to victim shame. It's a terrible excuse because the long-term effect of it is bad. You will end up being in a funk for longer than usual because all you're busy doing is pointing fingers. Every time you point fingers, 4 of them are pointing back at you. And anything you focus on expands. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. So you need to choose. You need to think about it. You have to choose your battles carefully with wisdom. All of us have common sense. So you're not going to tell me I don't have common sense. And I don't have the right to tell you don't have common sense. Common sense is a terrible guide to life and relationships. You need more. You need more. Me and you know what is right and wrong. Me and you know not to cheat, steal, and lie. All of us know these things, but yet people are struggling. Don't you think it's time that you learn something more? Anyway, I wanted to take that extra to speak to you. I don't want it to seem like I'm jumping in and out of show and then I'm gone. So, but if you come to live shows, I'll spend like 1 or 2 minutes to do that. So I appreciate you again. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everybody. Uncle Beno, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And everybody that has spoken thus far. Hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated. See you on the next one. Hit like, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. See you soon. Bye now.
This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.